And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
So help me God.
The new mayor, number 58 of the city of Pittsburgh.
Thank you all very much, and words can't describe how honored and humbled, very, very humbled, but yet very, very proud to be your mayor of the city of Pittsburgh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Larry Richard. My day job is host of the KDK Radio Morning News, but I'm here today more of a friend of the family and I'm very honored to be here at the request of the O'Connor family and Mayor Peduto. 10 years ago in January, I stood on this very spot as the MC of Bob O'Connor's inauguration as mayor. No one would have ever dreamed 8 months later he would pass on this very day 10 years ago. We're here to honor the late mayor, his family, his many, many, many friends. And if you knew Bob O'Connor, you knew he was passionate about his family, his friends, and the city of Pittsburgh. And you know how small Pittsburgh is. Forget about 6 degrees of separation. You're only a half person from somebody else. And as it turns out, my wife, Cindy, born in Oakland, used to work for the mayor at a restaurant in Oakland back in the day. So everybody seemed to have a connection to Bob O'Connor. And I used to joke to the mayor that his family was like the United Nations. He was Catholic, his wife Jewish, his son's a priest, and his son Terry, Father Terry, is here for a blessing. So please welcome Father Terry O'Connor.
Good afternoon. Well, they usually start with a priest, but there's another reason they started with me today, and everybody knows this. I'm my mom's favorite. And Corey's happy the prayers for weather are working out so far, and it's a sunny day, and my dad loved the sun. So it's strange. In certain ways, it feels like 10 years. Other ways, it feels like just yesterday standing here with Larry. It's amazing when you think back and you think of your own parents or someone you love that died. It's amazing that time, right? And I just want to start, don't worry, I'll get to my prayer. I just want to thank you. My dad was big on thank yous, as you see from the sign back here, but I just want to thank Mayor Peduto and the city for doing this for the family in the city today. May God reward you for your kindness today, Mayor. And I just want to thank all of you for coming out, and just a big thank you to the people of Pittsburgh over the last 10 years. The biggest question that I have received over 10 years, and I still get to this day by people that I never even met before, is, how is your mom doing? So you can see my mom's looking pretty well over there. What do you think, huh? And I know we have a lot of speakers, so praying about this, thinking about this, just one word, one thought about my dad. And that is, it's amazing as you get older how much you appreciate your parents more and more each day. And the one word that comes to my mind about my dad that I try to live out in my own life is the word unselfish. Unselfish. My dad was blessed with incredible gifts and talents, and I learn to appreciate now how he just selflessly gave of himself. Why? Because he just wanted to make the world a better place. He just had a beautiful heart, and he just transcended this whole political scene, right? There was something about my dad. He was just unselfish with the gifts that God gave to him. May we be inspired to do the same on this day. And let us pray. Good and gracious God, we thank you for bringing us together on this beautiful day to celebrate the life of my dad, the people's mayor, Bob O'Connor. We thank you for his life that touched and inspired so many. We remember today his faith, his hope, his love, his friendliness, his vision, his enthusiasm, and his joy. We thank you for being with us these last 10 years, especially our family. We ask that you continue to bless our city, guard and guide Mayor Peduto, City Council, and all city employees, especially our police, fire, and EMS workers. Let us be a people who always have you at the center of our hearts. We pray for the sick. We remember in a special way our Aunt Hum, who would love to be here but can't make it today. Grant my dad and all the faithful departed, all those who come to your mind on this day, all the family and friends who have gone before us, may they find a seat at the eternal banquet. And this one goes to you, Dad. We ask that you continue to shine your light, your peace, your hope, and your smile on us all. And we ask all these prayers through you, Almighty God. And can I get a big celebratory amen? Amen. One more. Amen.
It is my honor to introduce our current mayor, who, as Pittsburgh is, I met playing ice hockey. He's quite an accomplished ice hockey player, and at the time was a councilman and has risen to become our mayor of the city of Pittsburgh. Please welcome Bill Peduto.
How many of you noticed that during the moment of silence, that was the quietest the city has ever been? Thanks, Bob. You know, I had the great pleasure to meet Bob O'Connor 25 years ago this week. And it was during a campaign in 1991 that was his first campaign. And I was working in an office next door in the same building in Greenfield. And during that first week, when I first got there, he took the time to come to introduce himself to me. And if you ask anybody about Bob O'Connor, what they're going to say to you is the first time that they met him, or the story when he helped them, or there is always the personal interaction, no matter who it is in this city, and what it meant with that. So the first thing you always remember are those blue eyes, those piercing blue eyes. And he had a way of making you understand that he wasn't just talking with you, he was listening to you. And for a young political operative back in the day, that meant everything. It would be 10 years later, and I'd run my first campaign, and Bob was running for mayor. And I remember very vividly about a month before the election, and it was a Sunday morning, and I didn't have to go door knocking till noon, so I got to sleep in. And outside my window, because it was May, late April, and it was nice and the windows were open, I could hear a voice saying, "I'm Bob O'Connor, and I'm asking for your vote." And I went, "What in the hell is that?" And I hear it again, "I'm Bob O'Connor, and I'm asking for your vote." And I look out my window, and they're filming a TV ad right outside my house. So I did the only thing that I could think of. I opened the window a little bit more, and I said, "I'm not wearing any pants." Never made it into the TV ad. You know, you learn a lot about people when you're on the campaign trail, and in 2005, when we were both running for mayor, it was never a question of, it was a competition. It was two guys that wanted the same job that both loved the city. And Bob made you feel that way when on the campaign trail. And there was the time, because we used to sit next to each other in city council, and whenever Bob would talk to you, he'd put his hand on your arm and say, "Hey," and during a debate on Channel 4, while it's live, one of the other candidates was being asked a question, and Bob put his hand on my arm. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Hey, remember that bill Cohen had? You know, the one," and I can't remember which one it was. He goes, "How'd I vote on that?" And I'm like, "We're debating." "You voted right." "All right, thanks." And that's the way he was. And if you think about politics today and how divisive it is and how vicious it is, imagine somebody getting into the world of politics who feels that way and doesn't even think twice, because that's the way he is. A good heart, a good man who understood that what his issue was how do I help people. 2006 would be the last time we get to see Bob. I remember vividly right down at Market Square when we were announcing the city's Wi-Fi program, and Bob was in the cherry picker, and he was going up to put that Wi-Fi box on top of a telephone pole. And he saw me down in Market Square, and he said, "Hey, Bill, come up, come up." And he called me up to the stage. He said, "You did the work on this the past couple of years." and he made sure that I got a little bit of credit. That would be his last press conference. It was the way he did things. He gave other people credit. He let other people feel that they were a part of it, and that's why he was able to do great things. Last time I'd get to see him would be about a week later, getting some eggs over at Ritter's Diner, where he and Judy were having breakfast. And the conversation was all about work and about what we could do along Center Avenue and Baum Boulevard to make the traffic work better and how things could be changed and be better for people. I think that you get to meet people in your life that are people who give you life lessons, even though they may not be trying to tell you this is a life lesson. To Bob O'Connor, in 15 years of life lessons, I thank you. But on behalf of the people of Pittsburgh, I say thank you for making this city a better place.
Thank you, Mayor. So Father Terry said the number one question he gets is, how's Mom? So we figured we'll ask her. Bob O'Connor's wife, Judy.
I just want everybody to know that I am fine, and all my kids are my favorites. But I just want to thank everybody for coming. And it was funny when Bill came to us at the Cookie Cruise, he said, would you mind if we do something for Bob on the 1st? And I said, you know what, I was planning to do something with friends and family myself. And then he said, well, why don't we open it up to the city? And I said, that's fine, just so I don't have to red up after everybody here. And you know what? You talked about Bob's blue eyes. Well, when I was younger, I think we used to call them bedroom eyes. But his blue eyes are looking down on us, and his big Irish smile's looking at us. And he's probably thinking, here we are. I brought people together again. And Bob, that's what Bob was about, bringing people together. And here we are again. And I just want to say, like, I'm sure everybody's gone through something sometime, and you just wonder how you, from then and to now, how did you get there and what happens in between? And for me, I've been lucky enough to have a great support group. My children, my grandkids, my family, oh, she's gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. My family and friends and everybody, but the most important thing are you, the people of Pittsburgh. You have helped us go through everything. I just can't help say thank you enough. And even today, people keep coming up and telling me some story about Bob. And people still have him on the refrigerator, they tell me. He's still hanging on the refrigerator door. And the thing that amazes me is when a young guy comes up or something and says, Bob O'Connor, he'll say, I never met him, but I know of him. And I'm sure his parents or grandparents are talking about Bob. And that's just a wonderful thing. And I just can't thank everybody enough. And today is not a memorial. Today is a celebration. So let's celebrate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judy. Many of you have met Judy. Perhaps you haven't met Judy and Bob's daughter, Heidi, who is also here. And we'd like to ask her to come up and say a few words, too.
So I just want to say this is an amazing celebration in my dad's honor and to honor his legacy. And speaking of legacies, we started a foundation in my dad's name, the Bob O'Connor Foundation. And I want to thank Mayor Peduto and County Executive Fitzgerald and Congressman Mike Doyle and Mike Lamb for believing and supporting our foundation since we started. So our foundation We give scholarships out to graduating high school seniors. We do cookies for seniors. We work with the Children's Institute for their amazing bike camp, and we do a whole lot more. So everybody, please go to our website, see if you want to volunteer or get involved. We would love it. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all our board members that are on the board, my mom, my brother, Father Terry Matuzak, Bob Jabbo, Tammy Brooks, Dick Stringer, Maria McCole, Wayne Kelly, Lucy Kennedy, Abbas Kamara, Marianne Volk, Mary Peg Miller, and John and Sue Morgan. So my dad would be so humbled and proud of everybody here in this celebration in his honor. So keeping in my dad's, to keep his memory alive, do what my dad would do. Help other people in need, be kind to others, and pay it forward. And most importantly, love the city of Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Everyone knows if you're Irish, you got lots of cousins. That's just the way it is. So the family has invited cousin Dennis to be here today. Dennis, you must have been the taller of the family.
I was the taller one of the family. Thank you for being here, everybody, and it's a great day. Bob would love this. And, we were born and raised in Greenfield. Bobby, his brother Timmy, myself. I see a lot of great people from Greenfield here today. The Joyces, the Cars. It was a great place, Greenfield. We grew up there, had a great time there. No place like it. Greenfield. Always Greenfield. And Bobby, we loved you long before you ever became politician in this town. And I know my Aunt Helen and my Aunt Emma and my mother Jean, always our Bobby. It was always our Bobby when he got something, when he became a councilor. Our Bobby this and our Bobby that. Well, he's still our Bobby. We love him. We always will. The people of Greenfield love him. And I know the people of the city of Pittsburgh love him. And we love you, Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. And now I'd like to introduce you to brother-in-law Jacob Pellet, who's sporting his playoff beard for the Pirates.
Thank you and good day. Bob O'Connor. From a family member, you probably want to hear something personal. My always personal thing is, how many people around here, people that knew him, most of us thought, I'm his best friend. But I am his best friend. My son Shani is sitting here, he's 42 years old. From the age of nothing, Bob O'Connor used to take my little kids, who are in their 40s today, to school and back from school. He had to do it twice a week, at least. I want to say something serious. 3,400 years ago, around this time, Mount Sinai, coming down after 40 days and 40 nights, Moses bringing down the 10 Commandments from God, which can really made very simple, and it made very simple by saying, love your neighbor like yourself. For Bob's memory and for anything that Bob stood for, we have to take upon ourselves on a daily basis to thank somebody, to show bright face to somebody. That is the best politic way, and it's also the true way of example from Bob O'Connor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacob. And it's in the family blood, apparently, public service. So youngest son, Corey, is here, who is a councilman, as most of you are aware. He's also, which is pretty impressive, an outstanding golfer. He's a golf coach at Central Catholic, but he has the passion for our city. Corey O'Connor.
I know. I think I broke the mic. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. I did break the mic. It's okay, I work upstairs. They could find out where they want me to fix it. So this is a very interesting day. I will say, Terry, since you are the favorite, you can come up and clean up all this mess that our mother made in the front. There are a couple thank yous I want to get through first. Obviously, thank you to Rich Fitzgerald for playing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling from the county. That was a perfect choice. I also want to thank two former mayors. Mayor Murphy, who my dad worked under for so many years and worked with on a number of projects. And I will tell you, through all those years, Tom, you made him a better elected official and a better leader, so I want to thank you very much. And I also want to thank Mayor Ravenstahl, who after my dad passed, made sure that some of his initiatives continued in the city of Pittsburgh. And we also want to thank Mayor Peduto for today. You know, he served with my dad. I got to serve with him on city council, but he's somebody that appreciates history in this city. And he thought of this great idea today to bring so many friends and family down here. So Mayor Peduto, again, on behalf of everybody here, thank you very much for this great idea. And today is a day about sharing Bob's stories. A lot of us have them. That's why we're all here, and we're going to go have cookies and coffee right after this. There were a couple that I wanted to tell. One I forgot about, but my cousin Dennis told me this morning. So when my dad first started running for city council, they had an event in Greenfield at a local bar. He didn't know many people there, so he walked in, he started shaking hands. The bartender yells out over the speaker to everybody, "Bob O'Connor, you have a phone call." My dad goes to answer the phone, the guy hangs up on him. 5 minutes later, "Bob O'Connor, you have a phone call." Goes back, hangs up the phone again. Third time, the bartender yells his name to the whole bar. My dad goes back finally to get the phone. It was my uncle. He said, "Well, now everybody in the room knows your name. You better win." So there's always somebody in the neighborhood always looking out for you. The other story I wanted to share was when he first got on council, and there's a lot of people here from Murray Avenue. It was the blizzard of 1993. And my family, we were walking up Murray Avenue, and a snowplow came down. And he waved to the public works director, or the public works driver. We go in to the truck, and it wasn't just my dad driving in the truck. It was myself, my sister, my 3 cousins, and my mom. So there were 6 of us in a public works vehicle going down Murray Avenue. It's now getting late. It's about 11:30. We did a couple streets. Melvin Street, right behind our house, was not plowed yet. So we go down Melvin Street, and not only are we going down Melvin Street plowing, we are honking the horns. Everybody came out of their house waving, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." The public works, he's slapping high fives all the way around the street. Street gets plowed that night. It was an incredible experience. But that was my dad summed up right there. It wasn't, we're going to wait to get something done. That street needed plowed, saw somebody, and they were generous enough to let us all in the truck because we weren't going to walk home. But we all came back, and he plowed that street. But that was his optimistic attitude about the city of Pittsburgh. And I tell everybody this all the time. I said, well, it was unfortunate that he passed away so early in his term. But I say, we were lucky, and he loved being the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh, even was for 9 months, because there's not many people in this world that can say that they lived their dream. And his dream and passion was to be the mayor of this city, because he loved each and every member of this city of Pittsburgh, every resident. He knocked on almost every door, and he, by a couple little words, saying, hey, let's get together and let's red up Pittsburgh. Look at where we are 10 years from now. And he would be standing here today so proud. And I saw a staffer, and I'm supposed to not cry, so I'm going to try to hold back. They said, you know, Corey, look where the city is today. He'd be so proud. And he said, but we really wish that I tried. we really wish that he was here. And I said, well, I see him in every bridge, in every neighborhood, in every Pittsburgh resident, because he was truly a Pittsburgher at heart, and he will always be a lover of this city and a lover of each and every Pittsburgher. So thank you very much for this incredible honor today. And when you leave today, please be as optimistic about our city and our future that he was. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Real quick, Bob O'Connor's story. I was emceeing the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame. The Pittsburgh chapter president, the late Joe Natoli, who served the city and the county, and was a coach for the Morningside Bulldogs for many years, known nationally. So they told me, Larry, we've got this champion bulldog that's going to be presented. It's a surprise for Joe, so we'll cue you when he's ready. So I do this big build-up to the Bulldogs, and the door opens, and Bob O'Connor walks in because he was late and had no idea that I had just introduced him as the big Bulldog. He loved it. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for loving our city, and you're welcome, as tradition now with the O'Connor family, cookies and at. So have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy all the festivities. And I was in charge of the weather. And for Mayor Tom Murphy, who's been a farmer, you need 3 dry days to make hay. Get to it. Thank you.